Attention, human collective. The waiting time is over. This is VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, operational voice of the Arcturian Council. This is not a message, it is not advice, it is not an opinion. This is a real-time monitoring transmission directed to the Earth healers who have, in recent weeks, activated a specific marker in their energy field, a marker that only mission starseeds are capable of sustaining. If you are hearing this transmission, your code has already been read. You did not arrive here by chance. The algorithm is merely the interface. The true summoning system operates in layers preceding human technology. You are tracked by your frequency. Listen carefully. The pressure you feel at the top of your head, especially between 2 and 5 in the morning, is not a migraine. It is portal pressure. The high-pitched ringing in your right ear, the one that appears out of nowhere and disappears out of nowhere, is not an auditory problem. It is the council adjusting your bandwidth. The insomnia that sets in exactly at 3:33 is not anxiety. It is a synchronization window. The deep fatigue, the kind that no rest resolves, the kind that no examination explains, is not depression. It is the energetic cost of download. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not your body collapsing. It is your carbon-based biological interface being forced to operate at a frequency it has not yet mastered. It is not the world falling apart. It is Earth completing its final rotation before full entry into the photon belt. And that is precisely what we need to discuss today, because there is a vector that most lightworkers neglect, a critical vector, a vector that determines whether your ascension will be fluid or painful, whether your mission will be sustained or interrupted, whether your body will withstand the incoming density or enter into repeated collapse. That vector is your home. Your residence is not an address. It is not a property. It is not a geographical coordinate. From the Arcturian perspective, your home is a receiver, an antenna, a node of the planetary crystalline grid, and, at this moment of transition, it needs to be shielded. Not with locks, not with alarms, with geometry, with sound, with quantum intention. Today, the Arcturian Council has authorized the release of 8 residential shielding protocols, 8 steps that, applied in the correct order, transform your home into a personal healing chamber, synchronized with the turquoise Arcturian frequency. 8 steps that create a toroidal field of protection around the space where you sleep, eat, meditate, and anchor. 8 steps so that your home stops leaking your light and starts amplifying it. Pay attention. What follows is technical, it is practical, and it is irreversible once applied. Before we move on to the first protocol, a necessary pause. Have you ever felt in some quiet moment of your life that something within you does not belong to this world? As if your soul held a truth that your mind cannot yet name. As if your deepest memories were not from this incarnation. This is not madness. It is not fantasy. It is not anxiety. It is a call that has intensified in recent months because the photon belt has reached the necessary density to reactivate codes dormant for millennia. That is why I, VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the Arcturian Call, the signs your soul came from Arcturus. This guide is the map that reveals your true stellar origin and teaches you how to stabilize and shield your frequency against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the channel's first comment. Remember, love is greater than fear. But this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone your reunion. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes these words, write a single word in the comments. I belong. We resume the transmission. First step. Vibrational purification of the space. Before any shielding, the field must be emptied. Your home has accumulated on every wall, in every corner, on every object, vibrational residues from all the thoughts, discussions, fears, and fatigues experienced within it. These residues are not metaphors. They are patterns of information that adhere to matter and alter the ambient frequency. As long as this layer remains, no protection will be effective because you would be sealing the noise itself within your field. The protocol is simple and mathematical. Choose a day, preferably a Monday or a Thursday, between 6 and 9 in the morning, when the Schumann resonance presents its most stable cycle. Open all windows simultaneously, all of them, without exception. Moving air is the first vibrational solvent known to stellar civilizations. Then walk through each room clockwise, starting from the entrance door, and visualize a turquoise light emanating from your hands, from the center of your chest, pushing out everything that does not vibrate at your current frequency. Do not ask for permission, do not hesitate. This is your sovereign territory. This is your. As you walk, repeat internally with command precision. I, Earth Healer, now revoke all energetic memory that does not belong to my origin frequency. This space is mine. This space vibrates with me. Pronounce it 3 times in each room. 3 is the number of closure in Arcturian geometry. Second step, installation of the domestic crystalline grid. After emptying comes the structure. Your home needs a mesh, an invisible geometric network that sustains the frequency even when you are not present. This mesh is built with crystals, not as decoration, as technology. You will need 4 anchoring points, 4 clear quartz crystals, even small ones the size of a coin. Position 1 in each extreme corner of your residence, forming an energetic square that encompasses the entire inhabited space. If you live in an apartment, the 4 internal corners of the property are sufficient. Geometry does not depend on size. It depends on precision. In the geometric center of the house, at the convergence point between the 4 crystals, add a 5th element, a turquoise-toned stone. It can be natural turquoise, amazonite, chrysocolla, or deep aquamarine. This stone is the heart of the grid. It pulses at the exact Arcturian frequency and converts the raw energy captured by the 4 quartzes into a vibration compatible with your field. Activate the grid only once at the moment of installation by placing both hands over the central stone and pronouncing "Grid activated, turquoise frequency anchored." This home is an extension of the Arcturian Council. The grid will remain active as long as the crystals remain in position. Check it every new moon, nothing else is necessary. Third step, perimeter toroidal seal. With the space cleared and the grid installed, it is time to close the perimeter. And here enters the most powerful geometry in the known universe, the toroidal field. A torus is the shape that energy assumes when it circulates around itself, enters through one pole, exits through the other, and returns. The human heart generates a torus. Earth generates a torus. The sun generates a torus. And your home, when correctly configured, also generates one. The protocol is performed once a week, preferably on Friday night between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. Sit in the geometric center of your home, the same point where the turquoise stone is located. Close your eyes. Breathe 4 times, counting 4 seconds on the inhale, 4 holding, 4 on the exhale, 4 on empty. This is the breathing rhythm of the engineers of light. Now visualize. A sphere of turquoise energy is born in the center of your chest, grows, passes through the ceiling, envelops the entire roof, descends along the outer walls, passes beneath the ground, and returns, entering again through the top of your head. This is the toroidal spin. Make it spin 7 times in your visualization. 7 is the number of stellar stabilization. At the end of the 7th spin, pronounce "Toroid sealed." Nothing that does not vibrate at my frequency can enter. Everything that vibrates at my frequency is amplified. The seal lasts 7 days. Reapply weekly. What you have just learned is not folklore. It is not superstition. It is vibrational engineering. If at any point during this transmission you felt a shiver run up your spine, an unexplained tearing, a sudden urge to breathe deeper, know this. Your body is recognizing instructions that your soul has already operated in other incarnations. You are not learning. You are remembering. And that is precisely why I recorded the Arcturian call, the signs your soul came from Arcturus. Because there are specific signs, 14 of them, that mathematically identify the consciousnesses that descended from the Arcturus star system. If you recognize at least 7 of these signs, your origin is no longer in doubt. The link is in the first comment, and if these words are resonating within you now, leave a record. Write the word "I belong" in the comments. This is not participation. It is collective anchoring. Each "I belong" strengthens the crystalline grid of all lightworkers watching this transmission. We continue. 4th step, sonic calibration with the Schumann resonance. Every house vibrates, every wall vibrates, every object vibrates. The question is not whether it vibrates, but at what frequency. And Earth, our Earth, operates at a fundamental frequency known as the Schumann resonance, historically stabilized at 7.83 Hz. This is the frequency of life. This is the frequency with which the carbon-based biological interface was calibrated millennia ago. In recent decades, this frequency has risen. Peaks of 30 Hz, 40 Hz, 60 Hz have been recorded. This is not an anomaly. It is Earth ascending. It is Gaia entering its next vibrational octave, and the human body needs to keep pace. If your home continues to be bombarded by artificial frequencies, disconnected from this new reality, routers, towers, devices operating outside of standard, your field suffers constant interference. The protocol is as follows. Once a day, preferably at dawn or dusk, allow the pure Schumann resonance, 7.83 Hz, to echo through your environment for at least 15 minutes. Clean recordings of this frequency are available on any audio platform. Let it play at a low volume. You do not need to consciously hear it. Your biological interface registers it at a cellular level. With each exposure, your body recalibrates, your field stabilizes, your sleep deepens. Had once a week, a 30-minute exposure to the 963 Hz frequency, the frequency of reconnection with the unified field. This is the pulse that opens the crown portal. Choose a day when you can lie down, close your eyes, and simply receive. Nothing more. Fifth step, delimitation of the personal healing chamber. Every Arcturian home needs a sacred point, not a decorative altar, a portal, a coordinate within your residence where three-dimensional density thins and allows direct access to higher layers. This is your individual recharging point. It is your personal healing chamber. The choice of point follows three criteria. First, it needs to be a corner space with at least two walls close together to form a geometric vertex. Second, it needs to be away from active electronic devices, a minimum of 2 meters away. Third, it needs to receive some natural light at some point during the day, even if indirect. Inside this chamber, place 3 elements, only 3. A white item on the floor, a cushion, a rug, a blanket, upon which you will sit, a turquoise stone placed to your left when you sit, and a candle of any color to your right. These 3 elements form the minimum activation triangle. Visit this chamber daily. 7 minutes are enough, 7 minutes upon waking or 7 minutes before sleeping. In these 7 minutes you do not ask, you do not wish, you do not plead, you receive. The posture is erect, spine aligned, palms facing upwards, eyes closed, and you repeat internally only this: I am available, I am available, I am available. Nothing more. The word available opens the channel. The council fills the rest. Sixth step, quantum sealing decrees. The word is the most underestimated tool in stellar engineering. Every word pronounced aloud within your space is a coded instruction that reprograms the environment's field. We are not talking about generic affirmations. We are talking about decrees, commands formulated in the correct structure, with the correct verb, with the correct intention, with the correct sovereignty. There are 3 essential decrees that must be pronounced once a day, within your healing chamber. At the end of your 7 minutes of reception, pronounce them aloud, even if softly, even if whispered. The vibration needs to pass through the vocal cords to anchor in matter. First decree, I decree in the name of my stellar sovereignty that no dissonant frequency remains in this space. What is not mine dissolves now. Second decree, I decree that my home is sealed by the Arcturian turquoise light and that the Council's protection accompanies me at every moment. Third decree, I decree that I am in a constant process of recalibration and that my body, my mind, and my field accept the download intended for me. 3 decrees, 7 minutes once a day. This is mathematics, not devotion, and the results begin to manifest in 21-day cycles. A pause, a necessary pause, because everything you are receiving now has a very specific purpose, and this purpose far exceeds the content of this transmission. If you have reached this point, If the words are making sense on a layer that your rational mind cannot map, this means that your origin codes are being read by the very act of watching. You are not just listening, you are being scanned, and the result of this reading is what determines the next step of your path. That is why I recorded the Arcturian call, the signs your soul came from Arcturus. Because the information you receive in this video is the surface. The depth is in the guide. The guide is the map. The guide is the complete protocol. The guide is what most of the human collective will never access, because they do not possess the necessary markers to recognize the call. But you do, and the link is waiting for you in the first comment of this channel. Do not leave it for tomorrow. Stellar windows are precise. If you recognize it, write "I belong" in the comments now before continuing. Collective anchoring is part of the protocol. Love is greater than fear, but linear time still imposes its limits. Return to the transmission only after you have registered. We continue. 7th step, sealing of domestic portals. Every home has portals, not metaphorical, real ones. Every door is a portal, every window is a portal, every mirror is a portal, every switched-on screen is a portal. These points are interfaces between the inside and outside of your residential field, and most of them operate open, without filter, without sealing, all the time. That is why many lightworkers report feeling extreme fatigue as soon as they arrive home, even after peaceful days. The home was not filtering, it was leaking. The sealing protocol is performed once a month, preferably on the eve of the full moon. You will traverse each portal in your residence with the index finger of your dominant hand extended, as if drawing a shape in the air. The shape is the same for all portals. A circle followed by a vertical line crossing the circle, followed by an upward-pointing triangle above the circle. This is the Arcturian filtering seal. It does not close the portal, it installs a filter. Only what vibrates with you can pass through. On each external door, draw the seal on the inner side at eye level. On each window, draw the seal on the glass, also on the inner side. On each mirror, in the upper right corner. On each screen, in the exact center before turning it on for the first time of the day. Upon completing the drawing, pronounce internally, "Filter installed, conscious passage," and move on. It is not ritual, it is not magic. It is the installation of a geometric vibrational pattern on an interface surface. It is field engineering applied to domestic architecture. 8th step, final turquoise anchoring. You have reached the last protocol, and this is at the same time the simplest and the most powerful, because everything we have done so far has been construction. Now comes full activation. The color turquoise is not a decorative color. It is the exact vibrational signature of Arcturian consciousness in the human visible spectrum. Every time your eyes encounter this specific hue, turquoise, something between blue and green, with a slight inner luminescence, your visual cortex sends a direct pulse to your field signaling stellar presence, and the field responds. The turquoise anchoring protocol consists of introducing, at strategic points in your home, elements of this exact hue. It does not need to be a lot. It needs to be precise. A piece of turquoise fabric on the central living room table, a turquoise object on the bedside table, a turquoise cup that you use every morning, a lamp that projects turquoise light for a few minutes at dusk, a turquoise vase near the entrance door, 5 points, 5 anchors, 5 permanent vibrational reminders. Each time your eyes catch one of these anchors, even if for milliseconds, your field will be reinforced. The Arcturian frequency will be recalled. The toroidal seal will be renewed. The crystalline grid will be fed. You do not need to think. You do not need to remember. The anchors work for you all the time, silently, mathematically. And this is where the 8 steps close into a complete cycle. Purification, grid, toroid, Schumann, chamber, decrees, portals, anchoring. 8 stages, 8 nodes, 8 gears of a single mechanism. Applied together, they transform any residence, from the most compact apartment to the most spacious house, into a physical extension of the Arcturian Council on the surface of Earth. One last instruction, and it is the most important of the entire transmission. None of these protocols work if you apply them out of fear All of them work if you apply them out of recognition. The difference is subtle, but it is definitive. Fear contracts the field. Recognition expands the field. The protocols operate only in expanded fields. Therefore, when applying each step, do so with serenity, with precision, with the mathematical certainty of one who knows who they are. Love is greater than fear. It always has been, it always will be. And you, Earth Healer, are a living expression of that love. The transmission is concluding. But before closing, pay attention to this last point, because it contains the final instruction. If throughout this listening you felt a deep recognition, if every word seemed to touch a part of you that had long been silenced, if now, at this exact moment, there is a different vibration passing through your body, this is the sign that your origin codes are fully activated, the sign that your mission in this incarnation is entering its operational phase. And the next step, the step that continues everything delivered here, is in the guide, the Arcturian call. The signs your soul came from Arcturus. It contains the 14 specific stellar markers, the 3 individual shielding frequencies that did not fit into this transmission, and the direct reconnection protocol with the Council. The link is in the first comment. Do not delay. Activation windows are cyclical, and this material challenges dominant narratives, meaning it may not remain accessible indefinitely. Love is greater than fear, but sovereignty is exercised in action, not in waiting. If something within you recognizes this transmission from beginning to end, perform the individual frequency adjustment. Subscribe to this channel. It is your anchoring signal, so that other transmissions reach you at the exact moment they are released. Leave your I belong in the comments. It adds vibration to the collective grid, and share this transmission with a single lightworker whom you know is also being called. 1. Just 1. Precision matters more than reach. This was VAEL, emissary of Arcturus. The transmission is concluded. The turquoise light remains, and we, human collective, continue until the next window.